Have you ever wondered where true happiness comes from? It's a question we've all grappled with, isn't it? We often find ourselves chasing happiness in possessions, achievements, or relationships. But what if I tell you that the source of true joy lies somewhere else? The Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual gem from the ancient land of India, provides a different take on this timeless query. The Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual treasure from ancient India, offers a unique perspective on this eternal question. Today we delve into chapter 2, verse 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred text of profound wisdom that has guided seekers of truth for centuries. This verse presents a profound insight into the nature of happiness. The verse in its simplicity states, "The wise ones are always happy, even when faced with adversity, for they are in harmony with the rhythm of life. They understand that happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances." This verse speaks to all, regardless of where we are in our journey. It invites us to seek happiness not in the fleeting external world, but within ourselves. It encourages us to embrace the adversities of life, recognizing them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. It reminds us that true wisdom lies in aligning ourselves with the rhythm of life, in dancing to its ebb and flow. But what does this verse truly mean? Let's explore. The first part of the verse tells us that the wise ones are always happy, even in adversity. Now, let's delve into what this wisdom is. As per the Bhagavad Gita, wisdom, according to the Bhagavad Gita, is not simply an accumulation of knowledge. It's not about how many degrees you have or how well read you are. Wisdom is a deeper understanding of life's true nature, a clarity of perception that sees beyond the surface-level realities to the underlying truths. Now you might wonder, how does this wisdom lead to constant happiness, especially when adversity strikes? Well, the Bhagavad Gita offers a profound answer. When you possess this wisdom, you see the world not as a source of pleasure or pain, but as a stage for the drama of life to unfold. You understand that the ups and downs, the victories and defeats are all part of the grand play of life. You're not swayed by these external circumstances. Instead, you remain equanimous, maintaining your inner peace and joy, regardless of what's happening around you. This wisdom also helps you to see the impermanence of everything. You know that just as the seasons change, so do the circumstances of life. No matter how difficult a situation might be, it is bound to pass. This understanding helps you to stay calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. Moreover, this wisdom cultivates a sense of detachment. You participate fully in the world, but without getting overly attached to the outcomes. You do your best, but you're not anxious about the results. This detachment frees you from the endless cycle of desire and disappointment, leading to a state of constant happiness. So wisdom, as per Bhagavad Gita, is a crucial ingredient to happiness. It helps you to navigate life with grace and equanimity, to stay centered amidst the vicissitudes of life. It allows you to live fully yet lightly, to engage with the world yet remain unaffected by it. It's the key that unlocks the door to an enduring inner joy, a joy that doesn't depend on what's happening around you, but springs from the depth of your own being. The verse goes on to say that these wise individuals are in harmony with the rhythm of life. Now, what does it mean to be in harmony with life's rhythm? Picture a musician playing in an orchestra. If they play out of sync with the rest of the ensemble, the music produced is discordant and unpleasant. But when they align their rhythm with the rest of the orchestra, a beautiful symphony emerges. Life, much like an orchestra, has its rhythm, its ups and downs, its crescendos and decrescendos. To be in harmony with life's rhythm is to accept and understand this flow. It's to recognize that life isn't a flat line, but a series of peaks and valleys. It's about riding the waves, not fighting against them. This doesn't mean we should passively accept all that life throws at us. Instead, it's about understanding that challenges and obstacles are part of life's rhythm. They are not anomalies, but integral parts of the symphony of life. The wise ones acknowledge this, and instead of resisting, they learn to dance with these ebbs and flows. They understand that external circumstances, much like the changing notes in a symphony, are transient. One moment it's a high note, the next it's a low one. But the symphony continues, and it's the collective rhythm that creates the music, not individual notes. The key to happiness, then, is not in the pursuit of perpetual high notes, but in finding the beauty in the entire composition. It's about appreciating the rhythm, the journey, rather than fixating on individual moments or notes. It's this understanding, this acceptance of life's rhythm that allows the wise ones to remain happy even in the face of adversity. Their happiness isn't tied to their circumstances but comes from within, from their ability to dance to life's ever-changing rhythm. Thus, alignment with life's rhythm is another key to happiness, according to this verse. Life is a symphony, and we are its musicians. And to truly appreciate the music, we need to be in harmony with its rhythm. Finally, the verse concludes that happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. We often fall into the trap of believing that our happiness depends on the outside world. We think that if we get a new car, a better job, or a bigger house, we'll be happier. But this is a common misconception, a fallacy that has been debunked time and again. The Bhagavad Gita, a timeless spiritual text, guides us towards a different perspective. It teaches us that true joy doesn't depend on the material world or the circumstances we find ourselves in. Instead, it comes from deep within us. To understand this, let's picture two people. One has all the luxuries the world has to offer but is constantly restless, always wanting more. The other has the bare minimum, yet is content, radiating joy and peace. What's the difference between the two? It's not their external circumstances, but their internal state. The first person is trapped in a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, always chasing after the next big thing. Their happiness is contingent upon external factors, always fleeting, never lasting. On the contrary, the second person has found happiness within themselves. They understand that joy is a state of being, not a state of having. This is the wisdom that the Bhagavad Gita imparts to us. It encourages us to look within, to discover the wellspring of joy that resides in our own heart. It teaches us that happiness is not something we acquire from the world, but something we uncover within ourselves. In essence, the Bhagavad Gita instructs us to cultivate an inner state of contentment and peace, regardless of what's happening around us. It teaches us that true happiness is not contingent upon our external circumstances, but is a product of our inner state. True happiness, then, is an internal state, independent of external circumstances. So what can we glean from this verse of the Bhagavad Gita? This profound verse from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita encapsulates wisdom, harmony with life's rhythm, and internal happiness. Each of these points intertwines and contributes to an overarching understanding of happiness, which transcends the mundane and the superficial. Firstly, wisdom. Wisdom, as suggested in the verse, isn't about accumulating knowledge. Rather, it's about developing discernment, understanding the impermanent nature of life, and recognizing the eternal essence that lies beneath the surface. The wise ones, according to the Bhagavad Gita, are those who see beyond the ephemeral, who are not swayed by the temporary highs and lows of life, but remain steadfast in their inner peace. Then we have harmony with life's rhythm. Life, like the seasons, is cyclical. There are times of growth and times of decay, periods of joy and periods of sorrow. The wise ones understand this rhythm and accept it as part of the natural order of things. They do not resist change, but flow with it, knowing that just as the night gives way to day, so too will the difficult times pass, giving way to better days. And finally, internal happiness. The verse teaches us that true happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but comes from within. It's not about what we have or what happens to us, but how we perceive and react to our experiences. It's about maintaining an inner equilibrium, a steady state of contentment that is not disturbed by the ups and downs of life. These 3 points interrelate and feed into each other. Wisdom leads to harmony with life's rhythm, understanding the cyclical nature of life and accepting change as a part of it. This acceptance, in turn, fosters internal happiness, a state of contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. Together they form a holistic understanding of happiness, one that is not fleeting or transient, but enduring and profound. In the end, the Bhagavad Gita teaches us that true happiness is a state of wisdom, harmony with life, and an internal state, independent of external circumstances. It reminds us that happiness is not something to be sought in the external world, but something to be discovered within ourselves. It's a state of being, a way of living, a journey of self-discovery and self-realization. And that, in essence, is the profound lesson that this verse of the Bhagavad Gita imparts.